Let us start the second session regarding the role and responsibilities of teachers. We are all teachers, teaching in the universities and colleges. Teaching has been considered a noble profession, socially oriented profession, and a profession which is meant for nation building. In Kannada, there is a saying, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Maheshwara. So the teacher combines the qualities of these three gods. When Kabir Das asked a question between the God and the teacher, the student said, I would prefer the teacher because the teacher shows the way to see the God. Therefore, he respected the teacher higher than the God. According to Kothari Commission of 1966, the destiny of the country is shaped in the classroom. Please note down the statement. The destiny of the country is shaped in the classroom. The development of the nation is depending upon the quality teachers who produce quality students are the future citizens of the country. The development of Western countries and even Japan is greatly depending upon the quality teachers and quality teaching. The NEP of 2020 says, teachers truly shape the future of our children and therefore the future of our nation. And they are the respected members of the society. Please keep this one. Teachers are the future of the nation. And therefore, they must be the respected members of the society. I have seen in America that teachers are well respected. Even the policymakers and political leaders seek the advice and guidance from the university professors. They have got a think tank. The President of America appoints the experts as secretaries in various fields. A professor of international relations normally is being appointed as the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State is nothing but the Minister for Foreign Affairs. You know, when Clinton, when Nixon were there, they used to select the best experts in the chosen field. A teacher is called a guru. Gu means darkness. One who dispels the darkness is called guru. And guru, if he is a real guru, he is called acharya. A real guru takes moral responsibility for the growth of his wards, for the development of his students. According to Radhakrishnan, a well-known teacher whose birthday, 5th September, is being observed as Teachers' Day all over the country, said, teaching is a noble profession and we cannot have a good education system without committed and devoted teachers. That is very important. One should love the teaching profession. One should like it. One should have an idea, an attitude to read books, to read journals, and to develop the writing habit. That is why a good teacher must have a right type of attitude, right type of aptitude, and the right type of ability. That is what Gandhiji said. Attitude, aptitude, and ability. You must have an aptitude for teaching. Friends, the word teacher has 7 letters. During the last 10 years or so, when I was asked to explain these letters, I thought and developed my own views regarding each letter to explain the role and responsibilities of a teacher. These are my views. You can have your own views depending upon your thinking and your experience. The first letter T stands for transformation. A teacher is a transformer, not a transmitter of ideas. Number 2, E. A teacher is an educator. I will explain that one by one later. Then A teacher is an advisor.
ಪ್ರತಿ ಸೆಷನ್ಗೂ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಯಾರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು? A teacher is an advisor. Don't disturb. C. A teacher is a creator. H. A teacher is a harmonizer. Harmony, we need harmony in the society. Then there is another E. A teacher is an elucidator who clears the doubts. R. A teacher is a researcher. Now let me explain how these views are very important and very relevant today, according to the university education system. Gandhiji said the teacher should be inspired by spirit of service. I told you earlier, you must like it. You must love it. Going to the classroom is a pleasure, not a painful experience. That requires your confidence, your courage, your communicating ability, your good body language, your smiling face, your good dress, your service spirit. And he said, Dr. Radhakrishna's life is the greatest message to the mankind, particularly to the students and teachers. When you see Radhakrishnan photo, he was always wearing overcoat with a turban. A dress makes the man. Like Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru always used to wear very nice dress. Now even today, if you see the American president, he goes with an immaculate dress. Or Russian President Vladimir Putin, whatever may be the challenges he is facing, but he never appears without coat and suit. There are some people who don't wear the dress properly when they are holding the highest public office. That should not be there. You as the teachers, I don't say that you should go there with a suit and boot, but with a neat dress. In earlier times, during 60s and 70s, in all universities, professor used to come to the campuses or colleges with a suit and boot. It was a dress. That was very, very important. And therefore, his life is a message. Scholarship and leadership must be found among teachers. You must not only be a scholar, you must also be a leader. They should have they should understand the significance of social values, morality, character building, and they must also teach patriotism, humanism, secularism, and fraternity. We know how in Britain and also in America, teachers are respected, professors are respected. In the opinion of two writers, namely L. Aronica and Robinson, 8 core competencies are to be nurtured among the students. 8 core competencies. Core means very important competencies. What are they? All of them starts with C. Number 1, creativity. Make the students creative. They should come out with new ideas, new thinking, new jargons. Man is a wonderful animal. Man is a brainy animal. Something is there in his mind. It is the duty of the teacher to discover that something, that creativity. How 21st century is changing through information technology, communication technology, smartphone. Today we are talking of AI, artificial intelligence. I do not know. After some time, you may be replaced by artificial intelligence agencies. Our robots will take over the role of the teachers. Those days are not far off. Virtual classrooms are coming. Information technology is being updated. And therefore, creativity, how man has discovered, invented so many things. Mobile phone, technology. Technology revolution is something wonderful. Man is going to space. Man is going to moon. India has become a space power. Not merely fifth economy, but also space power, nuclear power. Man is a wonderful animal, very creative animal. He thinks, he develops. Make in India program. Startups. This is the Modi's program. How in India we were manufacturing mobile phones, new instruments, new ideas are coming out. And it is the duty of the teacher to develop this creativity among the students. Whatever the subject, they teach. Even in the art of teaching, there must be some creativity. How to teach the students, how to motivate them, how to create interest among the students. Then number 2, curiosity. Curiosity is very important. What is curiosity? It is a passion. It is logic. It is meaningfulness. One should be curious to know what is there. Curious state of mind is often open-hearted, and it offers clues to explore, imagine, and new thinking, new ideas, new thinking. It is the most powerful seed that teachers can plant in the young minds. Albert Einstein said, I am not intelligent, but I have a passion to learn. That is what he said. I have a passion to learn. Curiosity creates passion. You must have a passion towards teaching. Passion. Unless you have a passion for teaching, you cannot make the students curious. This is the second one, core competency. Third one, communication. Communication is the most important aspect for teaching. Now, there are some teachers who are very intelligent, who have a lot of ideas, but they lack communication ability. This is the problem. How to speak? Speaking is an art. Speaking is a science. How you use the body language. How you communicate, whether in English or in local language or any other language. And the voice is also very important. A good teacher must have a good voice. If you have a very low voice or a feeble voice, then it may not be appealing to the teacher or to the students. For that, you have to use certain aids, microphone, or some other instrument to communicate it very effectively. Therefore, the voice of the teacher, the language of the teacher, communicating style of the teacher, the body language. Say, a good teacher should not sit down in the classroom. That is one of the advice given by certain scholars. He must always stand. He must move around, meet the stakeholders, talk to them, inspire them. Therefore, communication is the third core competency. Very, very important. Kindly improve the communication ability. Communication is the most important aspect for teaching. A man who has got a very good communication skill can inspire the students, can attract the students. That is very, very important. Even when some people speak in the parliament, how they become very, great leaders. They become great leaders because of good communication skill. Modi, for example, he speaks very good Hindi language. When Bill Clinton was the president of America, he was a very good orator, very good speaker. Even Obama, Barack Obama, a young man who became the president in 40s, he was speaking very good English language, very good orator. Everybody cannot become a good orator. One can develop, try to develop, particularly in the field of teaching. That you must remember. If some of you are very weak in your communication ability, try to improve that. Nothing is impossible. It is possible. How to do it? Practice it at home. Before you go to the classroom, practice once at home. Then you go and talk to them. Otherwise, whatever may be your scholarship, you may not be able to emerge or recognize as an effective teacher. This is the third one. Fourth one, collaboration. You must try to teach the student, develop the collaboration or the collaborative activities. Man is a social animal. Man is a wonderful animal. Man cannot live alone. You have to teach the students to collaborate with others. What is nation? It is we the individuals. When we indulge in collaborative activities, we can make the nation great and strong. Therefore, one individual cannot do everything. Certain activities require collaboration. Financial collaboration, work collaboration, discussion collaboration. When you conduct a seminar, it is a collaborative activity. When you arrange a colloquium, it is a collaborative activity. Even the orientation program that is being organized, even though it is online, it is a collaborative activity. So collaboration is very, very important. That is the group activity. That is the social activity. Then the fifth one, criticism. You must encourage the students' critical mind to develop the critical mind. Criticism is not abuse, not misuse. Expressing your opinion, agree or disagree. There was a British writer, namely J.S. Mill, John Stuart Mill. He said, 99 people may say something. One individual may differ from 99 people. But 99 people have no right to suppress the opinion of one individual. That is critical attitude. And he also said, over himself, over his own body and the mind, the individual is sovereign. The individual is autonomous. Don't impose your ideas on the students. If the student accepts all your ideas without questioning, that amounts to dogmatism. That amounts to dogmatism. In a democracy, in an open society, our ideas are open for discussion, whether somebody like it or not. For example, Modi is suggesting one nation, one election, both for parliament and state assemblies. Some people are criticizing. Yes, let there be different opinion. Even the judges, whenever they give verdict, some people may give in favor, some people may give against the judgment. So majority opinion, minority opinion. That should be there. That is democracy. We must accept the criticism of others, right type of criticism. Criticism should not be viewed in bad terms or as an abuse. So critical thinking is very important. For example, you may advise your students, no, you don't take this subject, you take this subject. But the students say, no, I want to study this one. Sometimes there may be an argument between the parents and the students or the sons at home, or between the parents and their daughters regarding certain social matters or family matters. Parents should not suppress their ideas. Respect them. Listen to them. If it is reasonable, give them freedom to follow their own ideas. That is what we call critical thinking. Critical analysis is very, very important. Then compassion, sixth one. You must have compassion for others, sympathy for others. If possible, empathy for others. Sympathy comes from the mouth. Empathy comes from the heart. Develop the sympathy towards society, towards the common man, towards the country, towards the poor people, towards the have-nots, towards the disadvantaged students, towards the students who are very weak in learning. They are called as slow learners. In the colleges, we find two categories of students: advanced learners and slow learners. Develop the compassion towards the slow learners. Conduct remedial classes, extra classes, or on Sundays, or on holidays. Have sympathy for them. Help them emotionally. Help them if possible financially. That is what you call compassion. Yes, many teachers are doing that. Many institutions are doing that. Even UGC is encouraging remedial classes for slow learners. Give them financial assistance or getting them scholarship from funding agencies or from the government. This kind of attitude is a human attitude. Compassion should be encouraged among the students. A man, that is why it is said, friends, bad education is a national risk. According to the Delors Commission, which submitted the report to the UNESCO in 1996, to more than 2 decades ago. Bad education is a national risk. And according to me, it is not only a national risk, it is also a personal risk. Because bad education may brainwash the individual. He may become a terrorist. He may become a bad individual. He may become national or even anti-human being. He may become a thief. Who knows what will happen to him? Therefore, such people are very dangerous. That is why Radhakrishnan said, don't produce the intellectual slum. An intellectual slum is more dangerous than physical slum, Radhakrishnan said. Underline this statement. An intellectual slum is more dangerous than physical slum. That is what Dr. Radhakrishnan said. You must produce good students, better students, future students in the classroom. Then composure, seventh one. You must have a attitude of composure. Composure means scientific attitude, scientific temper. What is scientific attitude? Don't become emotional for anything. Suppose if somebody criticizes you, don't become emotional. If somebody abuses you, don't become emotional. Because psychology it says, emotion is the enemy of reason. Emotion is the enemy of reason. Don't do that. Be calm. Listen to others. Then come out with your own views. That is why, friends, you must have patience. Patience is a very powerful personal trait of an individual. Swami Vivekananda said, one who conquers others is great. One who conquers himself is the mightiest. One who conquers others is great, but one who conquers himself is mightiest. Self-control, self-restraint is very important. Whatever may be the situations, face the problems and challenges with composure, with courage, with scientific attitude. That is very important. And that comes only through education, right type of education, value-based education. Therefore, when you teach your discipline in the classroom, try to digress for 2-3 minutes. Give them valuable suggestions, your experiences. Sometimes humor also goes a long way. According to some people, a good teacher is one who combines 80 to 90% wisdom, 10 to 20% humor. That is very important. Digression. Humor with bad, not with a good bad taste, with a good taste. Then you can draw the attention of the students. You can improve their concentration in the classroom. Concentration is very, very important. Then last one, citizenship, he says. You must create the better citizens of the country, proud citizens of the country. India is our motherland. Niccolo Machiavelli, who was a great writer in the early part of the 16th century in Italy, he made a statement, I love my country more than my soul. I love my country more than my soul. That feeling should be there. Proud citizens of the country. India is my motherland. And it is also said, motherland is greater than heaven. Is greater than heaven. Why? Motherland gives us everything. It gives us education. It protects us from internal problem, external aggression. It gives us education. It gives us food. It gives us employment. It gives us health benefits. It provides all care for the happiness of the man. That is why we are the proud citizens of the country. That factor should be there. Patriotism should be developed among the students. Whatever may be his social background or religious background, forget that. Religion, caste, they are all personally created. They are all private matters. But when it comes to the nation, we are all Indians, proud citizens of the country. India has a glorious history. In ancient times, many Indian teachers went abroad and taught them. We have got Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Vedas. We have got magnum opus books. We have got Kautilya's Arthashastra, written 2,500 years ago, which is considered equal to Plato's Republic or Aristotle's Politics. We have, India has its own history, Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma indicates Dharma, Karma, Moksha. Dharma, Karma, Moksha. We believe in emancipation. Man don't want another life. Life is a challenge. Life is a struggle. Life is a struggle from birth to death. Therefore, some people don't believe, say, we don't want rebirth. Because Bhagavad Gita says, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Rebirth and death is common. But some good people say, we don't want rebirth. Therefore, they believe in the Sanatana. It is a very elastic, religion. It is subjected to various interpretations in the right form. Every religion is good. Means may be different, but the end is the same. End is the happiness of the man. To make the individual good. And from that point of view, friends, citizenship is very important. It is you who should create the better citizens in the classroom, not the bad citizens. And from that point of view, the teacher is considered as a transformer. Radhakrishnan, he went to Russia in 1949 as our ambassador. Nehru sent him. At that time, Joseph Stalin was the communist leader. He was consolidating communism in China, in former Soviet Union. Now it is called Russia. Nehru wanted to develop good relations with the Soviet Union at that time. But Joseph Stalin was not interested. Therefore, Radhakrishnan was sent as our ambassador after withdrawing Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Radhakrishnan met Joseph Stalin for a few minutes. There was an article in Hindu paper long ago. I read that article. Even today I remember that. Radhakrishnan, within 10 to 20 minutes, transformed Joseph Stalin from a bad dictator to a good human being. Because Joseph Stalin did not believe in peaceful life. He believed in purging the opponents of communism and the opponents of Soviet communist system. He was behaving like an inhuman being on the basis of violence. And Radhakrishnan changed him. And both of them stood up and hugged each other. And Joseph Stalin said, "Sir, you have transformed me into a human being." That is the greatest quality of a teacher. Transformation. You must transform the candidate in the classroom. Otherwise, you cannot be called as a successful teacher. That point, you must remember. Teaching alone is not important. Inculcating moral values, values of development personality are very important for a teacher. Number 2, educator. You must be a good educator. What is a teaching? Is a nurturing. Teaching is nurturing. The essence of teaching is not in the transmission of knowledge alone, but in the abilities of each student's potentiality to help and driven by the need to know. You must create an aptitude among the individuals and the need to know the information. Therefore, while following the pedagogy, which is changing day by day, a teacher should understand the relevance and significance of e-learning and virtual learning system. E-learning and virtual learning systems. You know what is the meaning of e-learning? Electronic learning methods. Virtual learning means smart classrooms. You know, if somebody gives a talk from America or from Delhi or from any other place, to listen to that lecture through audio, video, you must have facility. And that facility is called as virtual system or virtual, classroom. Virtual classroom. That is very important. And therefore, the educator must find a delicate balance between the online and offline teaching, between the e-learning and also virtual learning. Teacher need to be compassionate and we must develop an attitude of reflection. A teacher should be a reflective teacher because he knows how he taught in the classroom. He must reflect. He must try to improve it. He must try to change his teaching method in the next class. And that requires the great qualities and skills on the part of the teacher. Therefore, Radhakrishnan made a statement that students must be freed from prejudice and fanaticism. Prejudice and fanaticism. We must make them the students with a scientific attitude, with broad-minded attitudes. That is very important, with a humanistic approach. According to Henry Simon, who wrote a small book in the 20th century, he made 4 important observations regarding the successful educator. Successful educator is a successful teacher. 1, organization of cheating material systematically is very important. Before you go to the classroom, organize your teaching material. Go with your notes. Don't go to the classroom without preparation, without adequate preparation, without systematic presentation. Number 2, you must develop, as I said earlier, excellent communication skill. That is very important. Unless you communicate to them effectively, the students will not be able to listen to you properly. Then thirdly, he says, don't threaten the students. Treat them friendly. Friendly treatment of students is very important because they are the learners. They want help from you. And lastly, he says, a teacher should have an audience sense. Keep this mind in mind. Audience sense. Now you are the teachers. You are in the program. I should respect you. I should treat you as a resource person sitting on the other side. You are not newcomers. You are not students. And therefore, audience sense, whether the students come from the rural areas, urban areas, whether they are in the first semester, or in the second semester, or in the final semester, depending upon the duration and their background, you must develop the audience sense and then adapt your teaching approach. Then only your education will become very important. As an educator, the teacher should develop 4 D's principle or formula. What are they? Number 1, discussion. In the classroom, allow the student to discuss. Now, when I went to America in 2006, at the Saginaw Valley University, there I saw each student was asked to review the book, review the prescribed book, not the whole book. One student was asked to review 1 chapter, another student another chapter. Serpent and Snake, written by Raja Rao, was reviewed by the students in the classroom. And that too, the classes were held, after 7 o'clock in the night. It was a self-contained campus, Saginaw Valley State in the Michigan State. Students were there. The class was full at 7 o'clock in the night. And each student was reviewing each, chapter of the prescribed book. But in India, we have not developed that method. Students today are not reading the books. Even some students, even some teachers, I believe, they are not reading the books. They are not going to the library. They are not buying the books because of internet, because of smartphone. That is not good because whatever is appearing in the internet or in the YouTube, they are not reliable. They are not totally reliable. Sometimes they give junk information or false information. And therefore, in the classroom, you as the educator must allow the student to discuss. You initiate the discussion. Secondly, Try to discover the new ideas, new theories, new opinions. Thirdly, development the ideas, development the thesis. And fourthly, disseminate the ideas. Now, this D4 formula will lead to teacher-dominated system will be replaced by learner-dominated system. That is very important. Learner-dominated system. Because of this, the Dellar Commission of 1996 said, as an educator, the teacher must inculcate 4 values. Number 1, learn to know. Number 2, learn to do. Number 3, learn to be. Number 4, learn to live together. Now, it has used the simple words, but with lot of meanings. Learn to know, that is very important. Learn to do, that is also very practical aspect. Learn to be, how to be a human being, and learn to live together. Because I told you earlier, man is a social animal. In that sense, friends, today, there is a new technology, facility, adopted by various institutions, and promoted, and adopted. And thereby, the teachers can become very effective educators. This is the second letter explanation. Third one, a teacher is an advisor. See, you are a great advisor. You can give your advice not only on academic matters, on non-academic matters, co-curricular activities, socially responsible activities, personality development, high goals in life, and also social service. And from that point of view, you are considered as a guru. A teacher is a guru because of his advice. You may advise the slow learners, instill in them a sense of courage, a sense of confidence. You may advise them on financial matters, how to get financial benefit from the government, from other funding agencies, or from the institutions. Even if the girl students are afraid to come to the colleges, you can advise them, give them encouragement, inspire them, quote the examples of great ladies and their revolutionary ideas. And thereby you can try to build up what you call gender gap in the realm of higher education. Because in India, right to equality is a fundamental right. It is the first fundamental right. No discrimination on the basis of anything, caste, race, religion, place of birth, or sex. We are all Indians. That is why the preamble starts with the words called, we the people of India. We are the sovereign masters. We are the kingmakers. And this kind of an advice can be given to the students who are very weak, who are very, slow learners, who lack exposure, world exposure, who come from backward areas, who come from depressed classes or backward classes, make them education. That is why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said, educate, organize, agitate for your justice. That is what he said, educate. Education is a powerful weapon. Gandhiji made a remark that education is the light of life. Women should be given more education. Backward class people should be given more education. That is why in the realm of education, inclusivity is being recommended. People of all categories must be provided an opportunity, affordability to get easy access to the benefits of higher education. Therefore, don't create bad individuals in the classroom. From that point of view, a teacher is a broad advisor and a great guru and a great advisor. Then for one, creator. According to several scholars, a teacher is a creator of the future. Sir John Adams said, a teacher is the creator of human beings. A teacher is a creator of the human beings. He is the architect of life. He inspires the students. See, we as students have been greatly inspired by some teachers. We cannot forget the great support encouragement given by our teachers at the high school level or even at the primary level. Fortunately, we had very good teachers, very committed teachers, dedicated teachers, lovable teachers who inspired the students who came from the backward regions or from the rural areas. H.G. Wells, historians, observed a teacher is the creator of history. He creates the history. Radhakrishnan produced great students. Great teacher produced great teachers. In the opinion of Dr. Zakir Hussain, who was our President of India, a teacher is the architect of students' life. He is the architect of students' life. Gandhiji observed, by education I mean an all-round development of the best among learners. Teachers are the makers of age. So from that point of view, friends, we are the creators of new generations. We are the creators of new country, future generations. Now today, because of the high quality research and other thing, today India has become a nuclear power. India has become a space power. Our ISRO is doing all kinds of research activities to go to the moon, to go to the other, planets, and thereby India is emerging as a very powerful country in the field of new creations and also in the field of discoveries. That is why a teacher is called as a creator. Therefore, I told you earlier, I quoted, Kotari Commission, that the destiny of the country is shaped in the classroom. It has a lot of meaning and a lot of, content. Then the fifth one, a teacher is a harmonizer. Friends, India is a segmented society. It is a divided society. Nehru said, we want to achieve unity in diversity. We have so many castes, we have many religions, we have hundreds of languages, we have different cultures, we have regional differences. Even within Karnataka state, if you go to South Canara, their culture is different. If you go to North Karnataka, their culture is different. If you go to Gulbarga region, their culture is different. Even though we speak the same language, our accent is different, our style is different, meanings of some words are different. But in spite of that, we want to create harmony. We want to live together. We want to live as Kannadigas. We want to live as Indians. We have created only single citizenship, even though we have adopted federal form of government. We are all Indians. Ambedkar was very emphatic to preserve the unity of India. He supported and adopted single citizenship. Therefore, nationality in the Kalambandaga, we all write that we are Indians. States are there only for the purpose of administration. So from that point of view, friends, it is the duty of the teachers to treat all students equally and friendly. Because students may come from different backgrounds. Some of them may be admitted through reservation policy, are from urban areas, are from rural areas. There may be women candidates. There may be tribal candidates. But in the classroom, it is your duty to treat them as students. Forget their differences. Forget their caste background. Don't worry about that because you think that you are an harmonizer. Therefore, according to Delors Commission, education is one of the principal means available to foster a deeper and more harmonious form of human development and thereby reduce poverty, exclusion, ignorance, oppression and war. This is the statement given by Delors Commission and it is applicable to all ages, all countries and all types. We want to remove exclusion. We want inclusion. We are all Indians. Even in the context of globalization, today people are talking about a cosmopolitan citizenship. People are going around, communication is there. You can take your breakfast in Bangalore, your lunch in Moscow, your dinner in London. Facilities are there. There is a mobility, air transport. Man has conquered everything. Man has conquered the distance. That is the innovation of the individuals. And therefore, in a diversified India, management, leadership skill, Solving identity crises are required for teachers. Solving identity crises are important. One writer, Ramesh Verma, listed certain qualities for a teacher to act as an harmonizer in the 21st century. In 2002. Among them, 4 are important. One is, according to him, he must be a socially responsible teacher. Socially responsible teacher. That is very important. You must get the respect from the society. You must always think about the welfare of society. That is very important. Number 2, teachers of high values and ethics are needed. High values and ethics. You are the upholders of morality, values in society. Don't teach. Teachers should not become liars. Because if an educated man becomes bad, that leads to serious consequences in the society. Then thirdly, he said, teachers must be accountable for their actions. Accountable teachers for your behavior, for your educational activity, for your role as a teachers. That is why in the villages, even today, good teachers are respected. Good teachers are recognized. Even in America today, professors in the universities are highly respected. They are very, very respected. That is why, in America, research activities are of high quality. They win the Nobel Prize for economics, sometimes for medicine, sometimes for chemistry, physics, or even sometimes for literature. Because they do the work. They immerse in their activities. They don't bother about the time. It is said, in the Western countries, the people don't look at the clock. The clock look at the people. People don't look at the clock. But in India, we look at the clock to see that whether the lecture hour is over or not. The clock don't look at us. That means they don't value the time. They value the work. They go to the lab at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, despite bad weather or inclement weather. But in India, we have got very good weather. India is a beautiful country weather-wise. But sometimes we don't work. We don't stay in the universities, overnight or in the midnight, except some universities. Because we are not very serious and therefore we are not accountable. That is why in India, winning the Nobel Prizes is very rare. Very rare Nobel Prizes. Then professional teachers with influencing skills are important. Professional teachers, that is important. With influencing skills. You must have that idea. Then only you can act as a very good harmonizer, very good harbinger of society, very good friendly person of the society. And therefore, social harmony is very much needed in India because political parties and some politicians are dividing the people on the basis of caste, on the basis of religion, and that is not good for the future of the country. We had some politicians who were highly educated, who were ethically educated, and who played a very greater role in the social harmony. Gandhiji, Vinoba Bhave, Jawaharlal Nehru, various other people, large Rabindranath Tagore, such people played a very important role. And therefore, friends, you create better citizens for making India a great country, to preserve the social harmony, to preserve unity in diversity. We have proved that. Our democracy has proved that it is workable and it is working. Despite the criticism made by certain Western countries or the critics. One of the Australian prime ministers said, India's experiment with the democratic model is a marvel in the world. That is very great. India's experiment with the democratic model is marvel in the world. We have conducted 18 Lok Sabha elections, several assembly elections, but on all occasions, the transfer of power has been peaceful. People's voice has prevailed. Even in 1977, after the declaration of emergency, when Indira Gandhi declared the election in 1977, she was defeated power was transferred peacefully to the newly formed Janata government. That is the greatest quality of democracy. And from that point of view, friend, social harmony is very much required. No question of disturbance. Problems occur here and there. Violence take place. But in spite of that, we have been able to maintain unity of the country, and that requires social harmony. Then the sixth one, elucidator. A teacher is a great elucidator. How he is an elucidator? He must clarify certain ideas, themes, jargons, concepts, and also, metaphors. Now, for example, in economics, we call it as meltdown, Great Depression, economic crisis. In political science, we call non-alignment. What is non-alignment? Today, we use the word strategic autonomy. East look east policy, act east policy, we call it. Tariff. Now, Donald Trump, who has become the president for the second time, he is talking about the tariffs to impose more on foreign countries. What do you mean by tariff? What is the meaning of duty? What is the meaning of income tax? What is the meaning of GST? These concepts and theories and ideas are to be explained clearly to the students. Sometimes they are not aware of it. Sometimes, we use several, metaphors to explain certain new things. India's federalism is called as quasi-federalism. What do you mean by quasi-federalism? It is called semi-federalism. What is the unitary form of government? What is the federal form of government? What do you mean by military intervention? So such things are there. Sometimes whenever they are complicated, it is the duty of the teachers, to explain them. In that sense, the teacher is called as an elucidator. One who clarifies the students. That is why education is kindling of a flame, not the filling of vessels. Kindling of flame and not the filling of vessels. And lastly, friends, a teacher is a researcher. Teaching and research, they go hand in hand. Research is an important activity of a university and college teachers. Don't forget that. After finishing this program, when you go back to your colleges, think about the research activity. If you have not taken any research project, develop the research culture. All national education policies, I emphasize the research aspect, and particularly the NEP of 2020 has made certain important recommendations regarding the development of research culture in the colleges and universities, and also regarding research activities. It has classified the universities and colleges in two categories: intensive research universities and colleges, research intensive colleges and universities. Therefore, there are some colleges and universities which are very particular about the research activities. But there are some colleges and universities which are emphasizing only teaching activities. So it is up to you which culture can be developed and promoted in our colleges. And therefore, it said, enhancement of research culture with high quality interdisciplinary approach is very important. With high quality interdisciplinary approach is very important. Research in arts, humanities, social sciences, general sciences are extremely important for the progress of the country. So it gives equal emphasis for research in humanities, languages, and social sciences, apart from importance to other natural sciences. And therefore, students must be encouraged and their aptitude must be identified by the teachers whenever they are taking the classes, whenever they are teaching, the classrooms. Further, it said, as per the recommendation, the National Research Foundation has been created in August 2023. It has 4 objectives. National Research Foundation has 4 objectives. Number 1, funding the competitive peer-reviewed grant proposals of all types and across all subjects. So funding and that is why it has earmarked 50,000 crore initially. It has been created. So whoever is interested, you can apply for the fund for competitive research programs, peer-reviewed grant proposals of all types, social sciences, humanities, languages, and other subjects. Then it says seed, grow, and facilitate research at academic institution, particularly at universities and colleges. This is very important. Planting the research culture in the universities and colleges is very, very important. It must be motivated. It must be encouraged. Number 3, it should act as a liaison between research and relevant branches of government as well as industries. Therefore, you can submit your proposals either to the relevant funding agencies or to the relevant government, central government or state government, and also industries, relevant industries. Private industries are there. They can also fund, research activities. Fourthly, recognize outstanding research and progress. Recognize. That is, the government and the society must recognize and benefit them and help them. In that sense, a teacher can become a great researcher. Therefore, friends, my appeal to you is, if you have not taken any research project, kindly think over and try to develop research culture. When you go back to your college or university, prepare the research project, submit it either to the UGC or to the other funding agency, either Indian or foreign. British Broadcasting Council is there, Ford Foundation is there, Fulbright Fellowship Program is there, so many other funding agencies are there, and you can go to the internet and search them at their addresses and try to make use of these facilities. Otherwise, surviving in the colleges will become very difficult, and you will not be able to make that institution a quality institution. Apart from this, the NEP has also underlined the great role of the teachers in the development of quality teaching and quality education. According to this NEP, education is a public good. That's very important. Education is a public good. It is a national asset. And it is a foundation of a vibrant democracy. It is a foundation to make India an advanced country, to make India as a shining country. Modi says, in the 21st century, Asia, and in particular India, belongs to 21st century. And it is emerging. Indians are very talented. We have to create an opportunity for them to use the talent and to make India a developed country. Therefore, it emphasizes motivated, energized, and capable teachers. The motivation and empowerment of teachers are required to ensure the best possible future of our country. And keeping this in mind, it has made the following recommendations. What are they? Best infrastructure and facilities with education technology must be developed for the promotion of teaching learning process. Infrastructure is a must. It is the duty of the institutions to provide best infrastructure facilities with educational technology for teaching learning process, better teaching learning process. This is one. That means give importance to infrastructure development. ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೇವೆ in Kannada. Very, very important. Building is important. Lab is important. Libraries are important. Classrooms are important. Academic ambience is important. Academic ambience means academic environment. When you go to the institution, you don't feel like coming out immediately. You want to stay there, sit there, and dedicate yourself for the development of that institution. That is what you call academic ambience. Number 2, teaching duties should not be excessive. You should not overteach, because adequate time is important for you for interaction with the students, conducting research activities, and other university functions. Therefore, workload should be limited. Let us say a professor can take 8 hours a week or 6 hours a week. No, in those days it was there. For a lecturer, it was 16 hours. For readers, it was about 12 hours. For a professor, it was about 6 hours. The aim was that senior teachers who are professors must indulge, more in research activities, publish articles in national journals, international journal, or peer-reviewed journals. Therefore, your teaching load should not be very excessive. You must have ample time for other activities also for the development of the institution. This is the second recommendation. Third recommendation is faculty will be given freedom to design their work curriculum and pedagogical approaches. That is very important. I told you in the morning, in the earlier class, that you should be the master to frame your own syllabus, to think your own syllabus, offer your own syllabus, offer your own courses, and teach your own courses, depending upon your reputation. That should be there. Now, it takes a very long time, but sometimes, many teachers may not volunteer themselves, to come forward to take up this greater responsibility. Unless you take responsibility, unless you take risk, you cannot become a great person in your chosen field. And therefore, it says pedagogical approach is very, very important. Teaching is an art. Teaching is a science. Teaching is an art and teaching is a science. That is very important. Don't listen to the senior teachers unnecessarily. Think independently. Think with your own autonomous mind. You are an autonomous individual. You are an autonomous teacher. And therefore, you have your own brain. Depending upon that, you must develop your own independent personality, independent perception regarding curriculum development and a pedagogical approach. That is very important. Because today, it is the pedagogy which ensures the quality of teaching and the quality of curriculum. Fourth one, faculty must be encouraged through rewards. Yes, good faculty members, rewards, awards, promotions, recognitions, institutional leadership. So that is very important. The NEP of 2020 encourages or recommends the leadership of the management of the institution to reward the best teachers, give them awards, recognitions, because they are called as incentives. They will promote morale among the teaching staff. Morale means it is the team spirit that is very important. Teachers' Day. Why we observe Teachers' Day on 5th September? Because of Dr. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. After Radhakrishnan became the President of India in 1962, somebody asked, to celebrate or to observe his birthday as a birthday. But he said, call it as a Teachers' Day. Since then, 1962, we are celebrating as Teachers' Day. What is the reason? To remember Dr. Radhakrishnan. He was a role model. He was a great teacher. He was a world teacher. He was a transformer. He became the greatest ethical-based President of India. And thereby, his name should be remembered forever. Physically, he may not be here, but in reality, his name has become immortal. As a great professor and as a great president of Indian Union. And that is why, friends, the promotion, recognition plays a very important role. Because psychologically, every man wants some recognition. Every man wants some, praise from the society for the service he has done. He must be facilitated. He must be honored by the society. So from that is the universal phenomenon. And therefore, in order to make this, faculty accountability must be enforced by the institution. They must fix the responsibility. Yes, you do this job. You do this job. You achieve this goal within time frame. That is why the NEP of 2020 has recommended institutional development plan. The leadership, the principal of a college. The principal of a college. Now, I told you earlier, the principal of a college is like a dynamic person. He must be very active. He must be proactive. He must think academically. He must think otherwise for the development of the institution. Mobilize the resources. I have seen, in some colleges when I went there as the member coordinator of the NAC peer team, particularly in the northern part of the country, When I went to Aurangabad, I found one college. That college has developed into such an extent that they have got MOU with foreign universities, with PG programs, because the leadership of that college was very dynamic, was very active. We were very happy about the progress of that college in the Aurangabad, a private, I think, Deoband College, something like that, a very famous college. And they had patents with the International Patent Organization. That is possible because you have to make a will. Where there is a will, there is a way. Nothing is impossible. Work and work. When a man is engaged, he is always young in age. Man should not become lazy. Man should not become inactive. Man must be very active. Man must be very dynamic. And then only the institution can develop. And that is why leadership is very important. And in India, many private colleges are emerging and have emerged as best because of the dynamic leadership, dedicated leadership, committed leadership. And for that, they can also ensure faculty accountability. Then the fifth one, transparent process and criteria are to be adopted for faculty recruitment. Now, in public administration, we say recruitment is the heart of administration. Recruitment is the heart of administration. While recruiting the teachers, the NEP says merit should be given prominence or primary role. A tenure track that is suitable probation period must be adopted to ensure excellence. Tenure track period, that is called probationary period for 2 years. Fast track promotion system may be adopted for recognizing highest impact research and contribution. Only when the teacher successfully completes the probationary period, then only he will be confirmed according to it. So it is a probationary period, like which is being prescribed for civil services, all India services, central services, and state services. When the confirmed appointment is made, then there must be certain benefits given to the best teachers. They must be, examined, assessed by peer, student reviews, innovation in teaching and pedagogy, quality research, professional development activities, and other forms of service to be instituted and their contribution to the community. Therefore, these parameters must be adopted by the institution in order to get the best teachers after the confirmation. Therefore, you can remember how the quality is being emphasized by NEP, because it said in ancient times we are the best teachers, it says. But today problems are there, which we quoted earlier, which we listed earlier according to it. Then another recommendation is, it recommends teacher education, which is vital to shape the future generation. Teachers must be educated on Indian values. The Indian ethos, Indian values, Indian languages, Indian traditions, and later advances in education and pedagogy. So you must read general books also on India, on Indian history, freedom struggle, why we lost independence, what were the values. For example, on Kumbh Mela, there is a lot of literature. There is a lot of discussion on TVs, because many people are appreciating the foundation of the Kumbh Mela, and there are also some critics are there. Government is spending thousands of rupees, but at the same time there is more and more income from the devotees of this Kumbh Mela. Therefore, India is a very unique society with a lot of history, social history, political history, cultural history, linguistic history, so on and so forth. It is a wonderful country. It is a great lab for experiment. Understand them, value them, respect them. Then ethos and languages. If possible, learn as many languages as possible. Don't learn confine only to our local language. English is a global language. English is a business language. Hindi is a national language. Hindi is a link language. It is very important. Hindi is very easy to learn. Communicate. Particularly from South India, Many political leaders are not successful at the national level because they are not very, convenient either in English communication or in Hindi communication. That is a problem. But from Tamil Nadu, from Kerala, from Andhra, people, are trying to become national leaders. So therefore, language has no barrier. Language has no religion. It is a medium of communication. Therefore, try to encourage our students and you as a teacher to learn as many languages as possible. And it also says all new PhD entrants will be required to take credit-based courses. All the PhD entrants. In America, it is there. You have to take audit courses. You have to sit there for 1 semester or 2 semesters. You must understand research methodology. Many people are not able to understand what is the meaning of hypothesis. They do not know how to formulate hypotheses or formulate propositions. Many people do not know how to defend their findings of thesis openly. In America, a PhD thesis is open for discussion outside. Public are invited. Open viva examination is being conducted. So from that point of view, friends, PhD entrants are encouraged to take the credit-based courses. And they must also teach for some time. And thereby they will be able to understand the dynamics of the teachings. In-service continuous professional development of college and university teachers will continue through existing system. Orientation program will be continued. Refresher programs will be continued. The use of technology will be encouraged. Knowledge is not stagnant. Knowledge is dynamic. Knowledge is ever growing. Therefore, academic staff colleges, which have been established throughout the country, will be allowed to continue with different names. And thereby, professional development of the teachers will be encouraged. Friends, remember, whatever may be your service, length of service, or your scholarship, but there is something to learn from others. We have an open mind, and that should be developed. And therefore, in service, continuous professional development of college and university teachers will continue according to this NEP of 2020 through the existing institutional arrangements with enriched programs, with new agenda, with new program. Use of technology will definitely be strengthened and adopted. Therefore, a national mission for mentoring teachers shall be established for professional support of college and university teachers. This is the goal of NEP. National mission for mentoring will be established and to develop, the better teaching method and personal development of the teachers. Therefore, from this point of view, friends, the role and responsibilities of the teachers have undergone changes and still undergoing changes. And therefore, your role will be central and crucial in the years to come. And therefore, the quality of teaching, the quality of research will depend upon the quality